I need you all to hear what I'm saying. Success is a plan that takes years in the making. When nobody did, I believed. Had to let go of things I did not need. Cut off some friends in the process, what could I say? I could no longer carry the dead weight. Get off your ass, there's lots you can do. You wanna learn something and watch how I move, but they don't wanna do shit. They wanna be spoon-fed like a little baby. That shit is crazy, boy. Change up your mindset. I get 3 days worth of work done in just one. 727 mindset is the hustle for us. You get it?
Hey, I'm Alex Corona.
And I'm Jamie Burks.
And this is the 727 podcast. Today we coming at you from our headquarters right before Christmas. We're about a week away, right?
It is. I can't believe it's gone by so fast. 2024 came and gone.
No, it was a blur. One thing I can tell you, it was the toughest year I've ever had to live through. It was a hard year, a lot going on, and thank God we're still here.
So we're talking about being a great example for
The
your children.
Neos.
Yes. Well, so yeah, you got to be a great example for yourself and for a lot of people, but the kids, man, they are watching. And I have lots of conversations with our littles, and I'm always trying to teach them new things every day. One thing I can tell you is that I actually was at a function the other day, and there was an adult who was not setting a good example for the children. Now, it was something very silly. She was arguing with another person that was there. I don't know if they shoved each other or ran into each other, didn't say excuse me, or someone took their chair. Who knows? Something was odd about that. And I'm certain that she probably has a lot of, probably got trucker mouth, like myself. I'm bad. I drop F-bombs all the time, with or without my kids. That's just how I talk. I know how to control it though, and I surely don't do it in a public setting where other people's kids are around. So that's the one thing that it was like really, I don't know if you want to say disgusting to hear her like popping off at the mouth. Like, I just feel like she's probably a better person than that. You have to know how to control yourself, like controlling your emotions, controlling your feeling. If you can control your mind, you can control your emotions, you can control your actions, and then you have complete control of so much in the world, decisions that you make and how people perceive you, and just the standards that you set when you're out in public. Don't drop F-bombs. And she kept going, and going. And I just thought to myself, man, there's a lot of people with their small children around here. How embarrassing. So don't do that. So don't set the bad example. You have to set a good example and know that people are always watching, and the kids especially.
The kids are always watching, and more important, listening. Now my kids, one of them at least, my middle one, he's very audible. You can see his ears are even starting to like come out sideways like little satellite dishes. And they might not be watching because a lot of times they're on their iPad or watching TV, they're doing their homework, but they are definitely listening. So it's very important to be the example. What do you want your kids to be? And lead and do those things.
You only have one time to be a kid, and I am all about teaching them the rules of the world and not to be lazy and fun for yourself, and work hard, and you have to put the work in to get things where you want, because no one's going to hand it to you. I'm down. That's how I grew up. That's why I am the way that I am. But they are children, and they do not need to be put to work aggressively all the time.
So I'm not promised another minute. I'm not promised another day, and I'm going to make sure that anything that I can convey over to my kids, I'm going to do it and as quick as possible, because a lot of the things that I'm teaching them are things that took me 40-something years to find out and figure out. So if I can hand it over that much sooner to them, they can take it and run with it and make it even better and be way ahead of me, because that's the goal. I want them to be ahead of me and show their kids how to be better and so on. So in order to get there, I need to make sure that I'm showing them how to work and how things work and how to think, and because one day I'm not going to be here and I'm not going to be able to answer those questions or show them those things. And the sooner I can start them out, the better. Same event Jamie's talking about, I was there. Jamie, who's already there, she got there before me. I came from a different place, so I came in late. There was like standing room only. There was people, it was what do they call it? Where the kids sing, a recital. So it was like standing room only. People are like way outside of the gym, and there's people everywhere. It was from kindergarten to third grade, so there was a lot of parents, a lot of family, and I was waiting, Jamie knows, she's like, Alex, she's like, it's packed in here. She's like, you know how to get in. I'm as tall as them, I can bob and weave, so it wasn't that difficult for me. I saw my son, and I said hi to him, and I waited for the kids to pass. And while I was waiting for these kids to pass, I want to say like 10 to 12 of them were, screaming my name. At first I heard Alex Corona, and I'm thinking to myself, sometimes I forget my son Boom, we call him, his name is Boom Boom, and I forget that his name is Alex Corona. So when he said that, I was like, oh, they're probably screaming, for my son. So I wasn't even paying attention, and I'm like looking the other way. And when I looked at the kids, they were screaming. They were actually screaming at me. They're like, Alex Corona, and Mr. Corona, and they all have different things they're screaming at me. And you want to talk about feeling good? I mean, these kids are like 5 and 6 years old, and they know who I am, and they're jumping around, and they're cheering, and I just got in line behind them, and they walked in, and I followed them, and then I went and sat in the middle, right on the gym floor. I don't care. I'm in my suit. I'm sitting on the floor, and why? Because it's the best seat in the house, and I got to see everybody. My son is literally singing right in front of me, and again, these kids are waving at me, screaming at me. Then the first graders came in, and same thing. My kids I don't even have any first graders, and these kids still know who I am. The second graders came in, same thing. They're screaming and waving, and so then the third graders come in, and even more people are saying it was almost like a roar of these kids and waving and first row, second row, third row, everybody's waving at me and trying to get my attention. I can't tell you how many times I teared up during that performance from these kids, and it's just like it made me feel like what we're talking about, being that example. Like, I have a huge responsibility. Like, these kids are watching my every move. And the other day, one of the kids sent a keychain home with my son. It was a little Jordan 1, and he sent it home. And my son, he was real happy to tell me about it. He said, Dad, one of my friends sent this keychain for you. I'm like, what? But he explained the story to me, and he's like, hey, this kid collects keychains. How does he know I like Jordans and Jordan 1s, and they're blue, like, of all things. I mean,
who doesn't know you like blue?
I was hoping I had it in my pocket, but so to show you guys. But still, again, I'm in awe, and I sent one of my little shark keychains back with my son, and I'm like, here, go, give that to him. And after the recital, I went up to Boom. I'm sitting right there, so I went and hugged him and told him what a great job he did. And one of his friends is like, hey, Mr. Corona. And I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? What's your name? And he's like, oh, it's Hector. And I'm like, oh, you're the dude that sent me the keychain. And he's like, yeah, man, how'd you like it? I was like, oh, bro, it was really cool. I gave him a little hug. I was like, how'd you like the keychain I gave you? He's like, oh, man, thank you so much. And, I'm, again, like, he didn't have to do that. And I got to thinking after I'm leaving there, I'm like, I've been doing this since like day one. I've been doing this for like, my oldest is 19 years old. I've always, not only been the example for him, but all his friends. And I was always the hangout where all the kids, I coached baseball, I coached 4 different teams. I'd have all 4 teams over at my house. I'd take all 4 teams out on, hop them on a limo bus and take them on different trips, places they've never been to. And ever since, I've always had kids tell me, even their parents tell me, man, my kid wants to be just like you. Man, look at my kid. They send me pictures of him. Look, he's got his haircut like you. Look, he's likes the kind of car you get. Whatever it is, but they're always sending me messages and like I said, I've been seeing it since day one. The parents trust me with their kids. They let me take them places, and they do that because they know that not only am I going to do the right thing, I'm setting an example for them of what winning looks like, what being a good person looks like, what a hard worker looks like, what hard work, the fruits of the hard work, and most of, how to be a great guy to your girl, all these examples in my life. And I feel like that's why a big reason they do trust me and do give me their kids. Because when they come over to my house, I let them know, what's acceptable, what's not, so that way they're acting the right way, and not just at our house, at their house. And a lot of times their parents are calling me and they're like, Alex, I don't know what the hell you did to my son, or but this dude's like picking up his room. He's being a lot better at school. Like, you know, he's actually holding himself accountable. Like, you know, what did you say or what did you do? And, you know, all I did was keep it real and talk right from my heart and let them know, like, you know, this is your life, bro. So you're either gonna have the mindset of loss, or I'm gonna have the mindset of winning, right? And you don't want to be in that fearful mindset. You want to be in that winning mindset. And what does that take, and what does it look like? And to chase that for the rest of their lives instead of being in that fearful, you know, loss mindset where a lot of people get stuck in.
I think it's great that you said about like setting the example, and because they're always watching, and you know, when you are training them or teaching them or doing, you know, when I go and I eat somewhere, I clean up after myself. I'm very big on, if we go out to eat, I'm always telling the kids, like, gentlemen, push your chairs in. And then I'm going to say it in Spanish, so tell them that way too. But just they push your chairs in, clean up your plate, clean up your mess. What's cool about now with like in the Taekwondo, they're in Taekwondo, and those are the rules of Taekwondo. You know, clean up your toys, and you know, don't talk when adults are talking. And they have this long list, so we have it taped in the kitchen, and they read it frequently. But what I'm doing around them and setting the example, and then what they're doing at home around me, and then when I have them out at places, it makes me confident that they're doing that when we're not around. So it's like, I don't want, you know, I always knew, like, I never wanted to have the kid that, like, would go somewhere and just, like, yes, and wants everything. Like, yes, I want this, and take too much, or, like, eyes bigger than your stomach or whatever, and then, like, doesn't eat any of it or wastes it. Like, somebody pays for that. Like, even when they leave like, the faucet on when they brush their teeth, and they're, like, just kind of messing around or whatever, I'm like, you're wasting my water. You know, like, I tell them, like, turn it off. Somebody pays for that. Even when we go to go to the washroom at a restaurant, you know, it's not cool to just take 75 things of paper towels because the machine is awesome and it keeps coming out, because there's somebody behind the scenes that pays for that. So I tell them, like, don't be wasteful. You know, if you go to the bank and they give you a sucker, you're taking one, because there's got to be more for other kids. Like, those are things that I'm really big about always reminding them, because I feel like then they'll be able to do that, make those decisions, and they're going to know why. They're going to know why they're doing those things. You know, we don't want to just set the stage for why we're acting the way that we are. They see that, yes, but sometimes people need to know the reason why you're doing things, so then they understand the importance of it.
Yeah, so the kids are, you know, they think a lot about a lot of things. And today they were talking about interest. So they were like, what is interest? So
you're welcome. Well, just taking all things into consideration, I think I have a lot of empathy for just everything in life. But we got a subject, trying to give you a long story short, but Antonio had me buy a game for him, a Minecraft game for him on the iPad. It was $7.99, and then he's going
and
to.
I hope you guys heard that he buys that.
Yeah, $7. Oh yeah, I don't buy things on iPads. No way. They have to use their own money that they've saved.
Use their own money.
So they use their own money. So $7.99. Can you buy this? I'll pay you back. Absolutely. So we were talking on the way to school, and he says, now of course when I buy something online, I provide my credit card, and unfortunately I cannot pay my credit cards off every single month. I wish I could, but I cannot. So, you know, there's $7.99. I told him, look, okay, let's round to the nearest dollar. It's $8. Only $8. So I'm not counting out 99 pennies. So he's like, well then why did you say $8? And I was like, well, because of the Minecraft game that I bought you online. And he was like, well, it's $7.99. I said, right. He goes, well, then it's $7.99. It's not $8. And I was like, okay, let's learn a little bit something here, because right now I'm going to tell you about interest, because I paid for it on a credit card, and interest is the cost of borrowing money, and people don't borrow money for free in any way, shape, or form. So if I am borrowing you money and I'm paying on my credit card, chances are I know I'm going to pay more than a penny interest. So you by all means will pay me back $8. And so now they know the definition of interest. And then we did like a little, okay, if I borrow you $5 today, boom, boom, and I tell you I'm going to charge you $1 interest, and you want to pay me back Friday, what are you going to have to owe me on Friday? And he was like, I'm going to give you $6. So I'm like, okay, well, what's that dollar? He said, well, that dollar is the interest. So we learned that at 6 and 9 years old. So I thought that was, but I have a lot of those conversations because I want to set the example of the expectation of just life, you know. I think that's great.
And that's a big reason why I want the kids to do a lot of things on their own. And even if it's not done right, I just want them to, go through those motions, learn that these things, yes, it might be a little hard to do, but at the end of the day, you did it. And that makes you believe in yourself more. And that gives you more confidence that no matter what gets in front of you or what new task or what new thing you're going to learn, you're going to go out there and kill it. And that's a huge reason why I'm a big example to them, because I'm willing to take on anything. I'm willing to do whatever has to be done and do my very best at it. It's not just, oh, let's do this. Oh, it's my first time. It's okay to mess it up. No, it's my first time. Let's do a great job. So that way the next time I do it, I do even better. And then the next time I do even better. Like Jamie said, they're in Taekwondo right now. I'm trying to help them master these kicks. Like, it's not just about putting your foot up and kicking somebody. It's about doing them and doing it the best that you possibly can, and then spend your whole life honing that skill. Like, that's one thing that I can definitely do. I'm 44 years old and I can still kick like I was 8. And it's because my whole entire life I've been practicing, and now I've mastered them. And you got to keep that white belt intact. You got to be willing to keep practicing. My son got, my youngest, he's 6, and he got some stripes on his belt. He was here one day. He stopped by the office, and they just got out of Taekwondo, and I asked them, they were talking about some form that they were working on, and I was like, hey, show it to me. And my middle kid, he was like, yeah, no problem. Boom was like, yeah, here, let me do it. And I told Antonio, I'm like, here, get over there and do it too. He's like, oh, Dad, I already got my sticker on my belt. I'm good to go. I already know how to do it. And I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass if you already know how to do it. Now it's time to practice it, and practice it every day. It's not, oh, I know how to do it, I don't ever have to do it again. No, you keep going. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And you might want to add a little flair to it, or you might want to do a little bit extra. But until you master that skill, you got to keep going. You got to keep going and keep practicing. And like Jamie said, I'm a little aggressive sometimes, and including that time, especially with him, he's a very good listener. All I got to do is tell him once, and I don't have to be aggressive. I just be like, hey, Antonio, get up in here and do it. But the world isn't going to baby.
This is true. That's
the world can give a rat's ass about your feelings, and once you hit the ground, it'll pound your ass even further into the ground, and it'll keep you down, and it'll make you stay down. Nobody's going to care about them like we do. Nobody's going to make sure that they're taken care of like we do. But I'm also going to make sure that they understand what could happen to them out there. That's why I teach them how to fight. I teach them how to be ready, and I teach them things that are going to get them ready for the real world. I myself go to the gym every day thinking to myself that I'm training for the end of the world. Do I really believe that the end of the world is going to come? No. But guess what? If it does come, I'm going to be ready for that shit.
I think just always know that somebody's watching. I think that's the biggest thing. Somebody's watching. Be the example. Be the example. God is watching. The kids are watching. And these days, Santa's watching.
I heard a quick thing. I'll let you guys go after this. One of my mentors the other day, he mentioned, he said, would you date you? He said, that's huge. Would you date you? Would you, whatever it is that you're trying to be, would you date that person? So, or who you are right now. And I'm sure a lot of people answered no. And, am I perfect? Am I exactly where I want to be? No. But that's what keeps me motivated, is growing, is getting more information to make me better. And most importantly, when I see these little kids, how they look up at me and how they talk about me and how they hug me and high-five me and want to spend time around me is everything. That means, whatever the hell I'm doing is definitely working.
Making changes and moves has a lot to do with self-reflection. Cool.
All right. Peace. Again, I'm Alex Corona.
I'm Jamie Burks.
This is 727 Podcast. We'll catch you again next time. Merry Christmas, bro. Love the shit out of all you guys. Let's go.
Yeah. I'ma need you all to hear what I'm saying. Success is a plan that takes years in the making. When nobody did, I believed. Had to let go of things I did not need. Cut off some friends in the process. What could I say? I could no longer carry the dead weight. Get off your ass. There's lots you can do. You wanna learn something?